How's it going, everyone? I'm Keegs, and I did an initial review for Elden Ring, and I was planning on doing a final review after I beat the game, but I am now 50 hours into the game, and I have a lot more to go still. So I thought, why not do a update review? And now that I really have a much better sense as to how the game plays, then I can tell you guys from my perspective how that's going. If you want just an initial review from the first 10 hours of the game, you can click up here and that'll take you to my video after the first 10 hours. But now we are 50 hours into the game, and there are definitely a few things I've learned and a little different feelings that I have about different parts of the game. Now, I don't consider myself a very good gamer, or I guess I should say I'm probably your average gamer. So if you're looking for somebody to give you an impression of the game who's not a speedrun god, then I'm your guy. But I'm not really going to get into any spoilers for the story, and probably not even really much for any of the major bosses. So let's just get right on into it. The first thing that I want to bring up is that From Software did patch the game, and it is no longer nearly as laggy, and the performance issues are way, way better than at launch. I'm running an i7 7700K and a 1080 Ti GPU, so if that's reference for how you might be playing, but I'm playing on 1440p settings at the highest settings, and it plays a lot better and very smooth, very few FPS drops. Nothing like I was originally getting, where it was every encounter would essentially crash my game. Next up, I want to mention that there were elements taken from all their previous games, and if you're thinking like Bloodborne or Sekiro, really the influence is super minimal. There's a couple things here or there, but overall, this is through and through a sequel or continuation of Dark Souls. And if you played Dark Souls, you didn't like it at all, then this game is not going to change your mind, I don't think. And it's just kind of a slight continuation from Sekiro. You can sneak, but I was really kind of hoping you could do death blows like you could in Sekiro. And from Bloodborne, I'm trying to really think of what actually was taken from Bloodborne, and nothing is really coming off the top of my head. It's not like you can get in fights and get your blood back. So I guess the chalice dungeons are kind of taken, and there's similar dungeon elements where you have to go through a maze and unlock a door, and something else unlocks somewhere else, and you got to go find that, and then there's always a boss at the end of it. So I would say that's one of your only things taken from Bloodborne. The map here is gigantic, and I thought originally, I was a little scared at first when I first started playing. I was like, this map just doesn't seem very big. I'm 50 hours in, and the map is humongous. It is one of the biggest maps I feel like I've ever played, and I think that's because it is deceptively large because of the elevations. You have mountains that go up, you've got caves and tunnels that go down, so just whatever you see on the map, it might look, oh, hey, I'm gonna go from here to here, but really, that's like, you gotta go like this and come back up and around and get from the backside. Like, there are so many paths to get there, and the paths are so long that really it's not, it could be, you could be looking at it 10 meters away, but all of a sudden you're on this 1,000 meter journey to get there. So it's one of those things that is deceptively large. And I mean, I love it. There are so many different areas. And as soon as you think, okay, here we go, reaching the next area, nope, you didn't reach that area yet. You're in a completely other place, and you got to fight through all that. And there's a boss at the end of it. And I am just so impressed by the complexity and the interwovenness of this map. Because of this, it makes exploring really fun in the game, and I have spent so much time just wandering around with Torrent, your horse, and looking at things and discovering things, and there's so many secrets, and I'm sure there's just so many areas that I missed, even places that I feel like I scoured for hours. I think there's still stuff that I missed there, which is incredible. And it's nice that there are a lot of overworld bosses, overland bosses that just roam around, and some of them can be extremely hard, and it's really nice to get on your horse and just dip when something is clearly too much for you to handle at that point. With that too, it makes the game way more accessible to everybody because you don't have to fight everything at that exact time. If you're not feeling ready for it, there's another place to go, another area to explore, unlike Dark Souls 3 or something like Sekiro, where if you hit a wall with a boss, there's nothing you can do about it. But in this game, you can really go wherever you want. And if there's something that's too hard, come back to it later. And there's just so much more to do while you do it. It doesn't feel like, oh, I just got to go out and grind this pack of enemies for 3 hours so I get a couple levels up. You don't have to do that. You will naturally level up as you're exploring. I know a lot of people's pet peeves, including mine, were some of the runs back to the boss after you died, and a lot of times you don't really care about the enemies, you just run through them, and it makes it hard because a lot of times you'll get hit, sometimes you can die on your way back to the boss, and it just makes it super frustrating to get back to the point that you wanted to be doing anyway. And I didn't think it added a whole lot running back through all those people because I'm running through them all. I don't care. I'm not trying to fight them every single time. It's just kind of a nuisance. So there are so many statues around that you'll resurrect at right outside the boss area. I will say that the caves slash dungeons, whatever you want to call them, those do not tend to have any statues right outside the boss there, so you will have to go through the dungeon again. There is something right at the beginning of the dungeon, but sometimes it can be hard to run through some of the cave enemies. But other than that, so far Renala is the only boss where there's like a small run back there, which wasn't even that bad. I mean, especially in comparison to a lot of other Souls games, it was literally nothing. I probably would have been happy with that run in Dark Souls 3. Aesthetically, this game looks fantastic too. It is so much, there's so much detail in it, and it's just awesome to see. The tone of the world is very consistent all the way through, and everything that's supposed to look really scary looks pretty freaking scary, and everything that's supposed to look grandiose looks grand, and you're always kind of marveling at the architecture and character design and layout. And I can't believe how well the layout is in this game for a completely open world game. One of the funny things about this being an open world game is it's an open world game that actually forces you in almost a level design. And I say that because there's the way the map looks. I mean, you can see it here. You go around in a circle, but the thing is you go around it clockwise. If you try to go the other way, it puts you in literally the end zone of the game. And because of that, everything is so strong and powerful. You immediately know, hey, I'm not supposed to be here. Everything one-shots me, and it takes me an hour to kill one enemy. So it forces you to go around clockwise. But, I mean, if there's something over there that you want in that zone, sure, man, go ahead and go grab it, whatever you want. So that's kind of the funny thing about this being open world, is it is open world, but it also kind of has levels in it where, not really specific levels, but there's areas that it makes you go towards because those are clearly the enemies that are designed for your level. And I think that's a really awesome way that they did that and force you through the game in the way they want you to go and the way that makes the most sense. But if you really just want to do your thing, then you can go wherever you want, which I think is actually a pretty incredible thing. I will say though, in this game, they doubled the heck down on wolves slash dogs. They are everywhere, and I have so much trouble with them. Their timings are hard, they're quick, snappy, angry little buggers, and I know there's at least one true boss so far that's a wolf, and lots of little wolves everywhere, and one overland boss that I've encountered, and I think there's a couple more overland bosses that I'm not thinking of. And here, like, I'll show you right here, there's a overland boss, and this guy plays pretty much just like the main boss right in front of one of the other main bosses. I don't want to give any spoilers away here, but this is the same boss pretty much, except with less magic and doesn't hit quite as hard, but still will kick your butt if you are not paying attention. Just to name a couple enemies that I really hate. First we got this guy, this centipede dude. Oh my god, the Revenant. He's horrible. So I know you can block him 100% physical if you've got that shield, and it makes it a lot easier to beat him, but as you can see, I'm playing a caster, and this dude is so hard for a caster. Someone that doesn't have a shield, this guy's just ridiculously hard. He hits you so many times. I just don't even know how you fight this guy without 100% shield. I think I had some wolves, some ashes that I summoned, and those helped distract him while I kind of nuked him down with all my magic. But this guy was tough. All right, next up is these singing flying guys who sound great, but then they attack you like a bat out of hell, and it is really hard not to get poisoned by these guys, especially these two specifically right here, because these guys, I don't know what's up with them. They're hard to take down. They poison you so fast, and the poison buildup is so fast in this game. One hit, and I'm basically poisoned already. And the tick is so slow on poison. I will literally be like 5 minutes in and still ticking poison down. And if someone knows of a way to get rid of poison, please let me know, because I haven't found it yet. Granted, I haven't looked a lot because I just kind of run away from these guys whenever I see them. But if you know of a way to get poison away immediately, that would be so helpful. And lastly, oh my god, these archers. Holy crap. These guys have the craziest range out of anything I've ever seen in a Souls game. They hit like a truck, and it's basically like hit scan, and you can't even really dodge them because it comes so fast that you're already hit before you even know that it's been shot at you. Yes, sometimes you can hear it, and you can hear the release sometimes, but I mean, it's basically instant. If you don't time it perfectly, you get hit, and it can one-shot kill you if you're not at full health already. And also, if you're just generally not super vigor heavy, it can kill you in one hit. Also, I'm not really sure how much armor is protecting you in this game. I don't know, because I don't really care. I do whatever I think looks cool for the most part. If someone can let me know if they think the armor really does help them out in certain situations, or if it's more just style points, because that's what I like to do. As you can see, I did choose a magic character who generally tries to use his glintstone staff, though I do have a badass Uchi that does a lot of bleed damage, and it's super fun, so I have some melee stuff. I will say that I think so far, and I'm only 50 hours in, I know that doesn't sound, or that sounds like I might be a lot further along in the game than I am, but 50 hours in, it seems very weirdly balanced, the magic. Some bosses, I swear, just get straight up trivialized by casting magic standing behind them, and some bosses have no time for you to cast, and there's literally no way I can even use my staff, because some of these bosses have the tightest timings ever, and a lot of them can dodge your different spells. So it's like, yeah, either I'm amazing with the staff and the game's too easy, or there's nothing I can do, and I've got to switch to my Gucci katana, my katana samurai sword. But yeah, that's how I feel about magic. I think a strength build would be way more straightforward, and it would be very nice to have a 100% physical shield in a lot of situations in this game. But I will say I do like using my parry shield, because I just love parrying in these games. Whenever you get one off, it's so satisfying. And you can see here, I have a charm that gets me more health if I get a parry off, so I can take a hit if I miss the first parry, and then the second one I'll catch it, and then hopefully I'll get a lot of that health back. And it's just a really great mechanic. I love using that charm, and I'll use it all the time, except if I'm on a boss that really can't be parried or any kind of critical hit. The last thing I'm going to mention right now is that I really wish we got to see our maiden more. We never get to see her. 50 hours in, and I think I've seen her twice. Once at the beginning when she becomes my maiden, and once when she gives me Torrent. And you can level up at grace sites, so, I mean, you never see her at all, which, I mean, I like the convenience, but I also did enjoy going to the Firekeeper. I don't know why she's not at Round Table Hold at all. I feel like that's a good place for her to hang out, just, you know, to go say hi every once in a while as my maiden. But, no, I mean, I hope to see her more again in the future. I assume maybe once I get to the Erd Tree that she's looking for, she's going to appear. But so far, you like never see her. I was going to talk about a few of my experiences with some of the bosses I faced up to this point, but you know, this is actually already longer than I want it to be. So I'm just going to leave it at saying that this game is, I think, the hardest Souls game yet. And I've played all of them pretty much except for Dark Souls 1, just because, you know, I didn't get around to it. Or Dark Souls 1 and 2. But I played Dark Souls 3, Demon Souls, Sekiro, Bloodborne. To me, this is the hardest one. And it's not tediously hard, it's actually hard, where the bosses are designed to give you very tight windows, very fast move sets, really weird timings with their attacks, and they'll like go up, stand there, and then kind of go like halfway and then like hit you again, and just timing them can be so hard. And yeah, I think that if you're looking for a hard game, this is a great one, and it's definitely the least frustrating in like the sense of I'm losing my souls, I have to run back and all that stuff. One of the great things though about this game, and because it's so hard, is you get summons known as ashes, and that'll take a lot of aggro off you. I use the dogs because even though they're a little weaker, there's 3 of them, so you know, they gotta kill all 3 of them, which if it's got a large AoE, it's possible to do very quickly. But if it's a single combatant, then a lot of times it'll take aggro off for quite a while, which really helps me out. But that's a great way, I think, in them balancing the bosses. You can also summon other players too in this game, which is also really cool. I am absolutely loving this game though, and I think that's a big reason as to why it's taken me so long to get around the map, is because I just spend time enjoying the map, exploring and doing different things. So if you decide to pick up the game, let me know. After 50 hours, where are you in the game? Are you a lot further than me? Am I just really slow at the game? Or are you in kind of a similar boat? I'd love to know and love to hear down in the comments. But I'm Keegs, and I hope to see you guys again for some more Elden Ring content.